So, hello everyone, and have a guest here today as we reflect onto the game. So, I had mixed reactions for this game. I thought this is that West Ham 2-0 victory. I thought that the boys gave everything. Fresh is actually coming back to hunt us today. What did you think?
Uh, to be honest, in the first half, I can't lie, it was actually pretty scary because they set up so well defensively, and we didn't create anything. But you know what? I think today Maresca deserves credit, especially for the second half and the substitutions he made.
And he made it. He made them quite earlier on. I was so impressed.
I was surprised, yeah, because genuinely I thought this was gonna be another one of those games where it's gonna be like a 1-1 or a 2-0 West Ham. When Kudus missed that header, my heart stopped. I really thought that it's gonna be 2-1 there, but we just got caught life there, honestly.
And then there's this point, but actually, I can start by talking about the lineup. So, the first thing that really made me happy with the lineup is seeing Sanchez actually get dropped. And with Jorgensen, I don't know why the manager has not been giving him that confidence and that belief because he was very composed. He knew when to go long, he knew when to go short. You could see the defense was calm. Actually, it is just Colwell who made a mistake. I think today we deserved a clean sheet.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, when I saw the lineup and I
Yeah.
saw Jurgensen was in there, I was so surprised, but I was happy. The only thing that surprised me a little bit was that Chalobah was on the bench, which I think our best centre back is Chalobah and Tosin, because I think I've noticed now this isn't the first time Kowa has made a mistake. It's just that Sanchez made a lot, so we don't notice Kowa with these mistakes. He made one against City. He made one tonight. If you remember the game against Liverpool we played, I think he made like two. So I think we have to keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah, it's actually, and also Colwell has been the defender who has been susceptible in playing the opposition on side throughout the season. And when I was doing my preview, I actually put Tosin and Chaloba together, but he's going to be found out very soon. Very soon he'll be found out also.
Yeah, and I mean for all the stick Tosin gets, he's been very good and he's made so many blocks. Sometimes you can see the experience shine through, especially today. That block for the Kudu shot was it saved the game if we're being real.
I think that block actually won us the 3 points. I counted that block as a goal. And Kudus just moves. I think even our players were finding it difficult to deal with him. They had to double up on him. And I remember that we actually wanted to sign him.
I mean, Kudus would be great, but the only thing is like we have so many wingers because I think both the wingers did well today, in my opinion. I think Neto did well. I think Madueke did well. Sancho was disappointing. Kudus, he did really well, but again, it's going to be the same problem. He didn't have any end product today. And there was that one time where
And
Caicedo.
uh, and Jared Bowen, he got lucky with that goal. But again, when you find yourself in those positions, all you have to do is score. I know a lot of strikers, even one in my club, who would have probably missed from that position.
I mean, yeah, Bowen, I don't know what it is. Whenever it's a Chelsea game, he just turns up. Like he has a knack for scoring against us. But when you think about it, you take away that goal from Bowen, we didn't really give them space to create anything. That header from Kudus was probably offside as well. So I think we defended really well. It's just again the silly mistakes keep us back, and they keep haunting us all the time.
Yeah, and but overall, also Nicholas Jackson, you could see how low in confidence he was. And I'm actually happy because Gil, when he came on, he played well. His link up plays well. He's strong. I don't know why he's not given a lot of chances. I think he's
Yeah,
a player.
yeah, genuinely. I mean, he's also like taller. He's 6'2". So anytime those crosses come in from Netro Madueke, we'll have someone who's a threat. Like if you see for that first goal, okay, he didn't touch the ball, but he put enough pressure. So the ball goes to Kukurea, and that's what causes the goal as well. So I think he should be given more minutes. I think the reason he wasn't is because of his age. But otherwise, he
Yeah.
was excellent. He was strong. He pressed well. He had great link up as well, which surprised me because players who are young don't usually know how to link up well. They get a bit too in their heads and want to prove a point to the manager. But credit to Maresca, he did well today, and it was a great performance.
Yeah, but today I was going to cook them if they if they failed to win that game. But I wasn't going to go to at Maresca or the players. I just wanted to hit at the board because how can you spend £1 billion and look worse? You know, because when Thomas Tuchel left, he finished third the previous season. So why would you spend and then regress? But again, we are looking at a team that. But one thing that fascinated me about this game is I realized that we ran a lot in this game. We pressed a lot. Our counter press was also good. In the City game, whenever we lost the ball, I did not see the urgency to try and win the ball. Today, the urgency was there. Cucurella was all over the pitch. I saw even Caicedo, though he made some clumsy tackles, but you could see the urgency even from Palmer. So, what do you think changed? Did the Arsenal performance against Manchester City actually encourage them?
I think, honestly, I think the substitutions played a big part. And also by the fact that West Ham were so passive for most of the game really helped us. Because if you go look at West Ham, they are a bigger team, right? Like they should be winning those 50-50s. But I think there was pressure on in this game. And I feel like when the substitutions came on, the pressing got even better and so did the game management. I think what caused that today was a mix of both, to be honest, because yeah, the pressure is there, is an opportunity, and also like the substitutions because now there's fresher legs. Jackson didn't have to play 90 minutes, neither did Palmer as well. These players get tired, so it clearly shows when you give your substitutes opportunities. It's not really quality. It's probably that the players are fatigued because you're playing the same 11 week in week out, very late substitutions. Their legs are gonna get run into the ground.
But this further shows that Enzo Maresca has also had time to sit and scrutinize how late he makes his substitutions. And I think that is also something that demoralizes the players because if you just bring on Kunku at the 80th minute and then you expect him to do a miracle, sometimes even players really get disappointed. But the minute he brought him on earlier, the minute he brought in Neto, and Neto tried today. Neto really played well today.
Neto's crosses are so good. Like the thing is, Jackson was just never getting to those crosses a lot of the time because he's like shorter and he's not like the best in the air. But now with Ricky Gio, I think if we even Madueke actually had a few good crosses. And yeah, you're right. Nkunku today he came on. He didn't dribble past the players, but he had great link-up play. He used his experience to know when to slow down, when to speed up the play. And genuinely, I was surprised, because I was like, damn, he's actually playing well. So yeah, I think that's really great on Maresca's part. The fans were screaming for it for a long, long time. And I think he should keep doing this. Who are we playing next week? I think it's Arsenal, right?
No, I think we have easy fixtures in February.
Oh, okay, my bad. But
Yeah, so
whoever
we really have winnable games. If we are serious enough and if we are lucky enough, we can actually win the next 5 games. And I would really like that because if we win the next 5 games, we'll even go probably even 8 points ahead of Manchester City because I've just seen Manchester City's fixtures. Man City are more likely to even drop more points. Their run is just so terrible. They have Spurs, they have Newcastle, they have very tough. Even Liverpool, they're even playing Liverpool.
Yeah, and that 5-1 loss won't help their confidence either.
Yeah, and they're also playing Real Madrid in between that.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not just City we have to worry about. There's a lot of teams in that chasing pack. I think Bournemouth are actually much better than their position suggests, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, I think they're more dangerous than a lot of the teams below us. Like, I can't lie. They've just been very unlucky. Even against Liverpool, they were pretty unlucky. But yeah, I mean, we can get these wins. We've gone 5 in a row before. And now I think it's like 2 wins in our last three.
Yeah.
That's what matters at the end of the day. We just keep moving in that direction. And hopefully he keeps on rotating the 11. Because you see, I said the system wasn't the problem. It was just players are going to get
Fatigue.
tired.
the fatigue, the fatigue that kicked in with players, because we really fell off during the second half, and I think Maresca really hesitated with his substitutions, because if you take out players earlier on, you get a lot of energy into the team, and then you're able to sustain. But I was also asking myself, why should we get fatigued yet we play one game a week? I also thought there is some level of naivety, and today, especially towards the latter stages of the game, I started to see Nkunku keeping the ball a lot. We really managed the game well from minute 80. I was even shocked that Chelsea were able to come up with a result. But again, we can credit that to Tosin, because that tackle from Tosin is just something else. That tackle from Tosin is everything.
Genuinely, yeah. I think he's been excellent. Like whenever he's played, except for that one game, I don't remember which one it was where he was bad. And even like with Tosin, he adds that extra element of being able to shoot from range, you know. So in case you can't break a low block down, the teams have to come close in because he has that quality to shoot. And yeah, I was surprised as well the way we managed the game. But that's what happens, I guess, when you have experienced players like Nkunku, like Tosin. They help the younger ones as well. And it's true, like we play one game a week, and why do we get so fatigued? I think that's down to the immaturity of the young players. And again, these players are young, right? So like they're very hungry. They're gonna run at full speed. You always see Jackson doing that. You know, you see Caicedo all over the place. Like they're gonna really want to play as hard as they can to, you know, win, to show the manager they're good. But I don't think they understand that maybe it's gonna actually have an impact on their physical performance. And I think that's where you need experienced players to slow it down. Just like today, for example, when Kunku had the ball on the wing, like he slowed the play down, and the Chelsea fans were all like disappointed. You could hear it in the
Yeah, I
atmosphere.
liked it. I
Yeah,
actually liked what he did. I was
yeah.
really impressed with what he did, because also another thing that we need to understand is that as much as these players want to prove themselves to their manager, and actually I've just before we continue, I've seen that João Felix has completed a loan move to to AC Milan. That came as a surprise, because I didn't expect him to leave. What do you think about that?
I'm very disappointed in that because I'm a big fan of Felix, and I think it could have been very useful. Because how long are you gonna use Palmer for? And who's gonna replace Palmer? You have Nkunku, sure, but like if we're being real, yeah, today he had a good performance, but Felix is much, much better than Kunku, and I'd even argue he's arguably the in the top five best players in this team ability wise. So I'm very disappointed in that move. I hope he comes back, honestly, because I do think there's a world where both Palmer and Felix can start.
But the question has always been, even Disasi has actually left for Aston Villa, so we have some, even Kani has
Chukwemeka,
already left for
yeah,
Dortmund. What about
yeah,
Benchilo? Has Benchilo left?
yeah, he's gone to Palace, I think, on loan.
Wow. So I think that will try to change the attitude of the team, because seeing Kunku actually playing with a lot of confidence and belief, I think the January transfer window also complicated a lot of things, because some players don't know if I play whether I'm going to be here after the end of the window. So I think also that created some form of disharmony in the team. Even that post-Christmas period, I think that is what actually affects Chelsea. But when Chelsea have a strong core, a strong non-starting 11 and bench players, I don't think that is something that happens.
Yeah, I agree. Because yeah, there was a. It looked like some of these players, their heads weren't even there. Like Kunku today, it was a different Kunku from the one we saw in Man City. You know, this one was actually defending. He had great link-up play, slowed and kept the game pacing. I do think the January transfer window was really poorly handled because even the outgoings, it's like they all went out on loan, and I don't think any of them have like buy options except for Chukwemeka. So we're basically losing the one good player out of those four.
Wow, 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 wow. Then what can you say about Nicholas Jackson? He just got 50 minutes in this game, and we saw the problem. We saw the lack of confidence. We saw the fatigue in him. We saw even him trying to play through with a muscle injury. Are you seeing an element of frustration from Jackson?
I think it was crazy that when he's holding his hamstring and he's still playing. Like usually, whenever we see that, we don't take risks. We take the player off. I think I don't even think it's frustration with Jackson at this point. I don't know if he realizes it, but I think he's just exhausted because, bro, it's like I said last time. Every game he's playing, and the thing is, you always want to give your best, right, when you're fully motivated. But it's important to take breaks, and in a way, I think it's good. Jackson really, really needed that break. Otherwise, he would have just never been able to give 100% because he's literally on 50% physical like ability to perform. So I'm glad he didn't get full 90. And it's crazy that we're saying for the first time in so long that Jackson has played 50 minutes and not 90. For a 23-year-old within like 2 or 3 seasons, that is very wild.
Yeah, and actually, I've seen something interesting towards the latter stages of the game. Noni Madueke reached out to Graham Potter.
Really?
Yeah, he ran towards him and greeted him. But you see, the good thing that I like about Potter is that even after he left the club, he was very professional, and the players liked him. It's just that things did not work out. He found himself actually coaching 45 players. You have
Yeah.
Akim Ziyech, you have Pulisic, you have two players who have come in, the likes of Mudrik. I think Potter is a man who found himself in a very difficult situation, and I know he's going to do well at West Ham, but he couldn't do it today. We couldn't allow him to actually do it. That
I
was
mean, again, even with him, when he was our manager, we had this issue of being very good defensively and very bad in attack. That is literally what we saw from West Ham today.
yeah. They were. Do you think Paqueta could actually change the way they played?
To be honest, no. Paqueta is too inconsistent himself. Some games is good, some games is not. I still think the game would have still gone the same way.
But when you look at Paqueta, he stands up in the big games. So probably if we had him and Bowen and Kudus, then I think it will be problematic. I think that's one attack we will struggle with.
Gentry beat them 5-0 last year.
When all
Even,
of them played,
yeah, I think so. And they even had
but
Somerville.
the difference last year, okay, you can even talk about the management, and also Chelsea just ended the game earlier on. And I realized, especially when we needed that Neto goal as early as possible, because if we dragged it towards minute 75, I think we wouldn't have scored, because the minute Neto scored that goal, the game opened up, because now they knew that it's a draw and they couldn't allow that draw, so they started to open up. But again, even the Palmer goal, let me just say it is by sheer luck. That's a lucky goal. That's a lucky goal. I think we would have drawn this match. It was a lucky goal. That was a lucky goal. I didn't expect it.
Even like the goal that Neto scored, we were lucky that they didn't see Hughes header like to touch the ball because Kukurea was offside. And if we're being honest, that's still an interference in play, Like we got away with that. Also, Cole fouled Bowen. We got away with a lot today. I'm not complaining, Sometimes decisions go your way, sometimes they don't. Today they
We
went
lost.
our way.
We
Yeah.
lost. We lost the Ipswich game because of the referee. Because actually they came out and apologized that the first penalty was not a penalty. Because if
Wait,
they don't probably score that goal, maybe we score, we go 1-0 up, and maybe the fortunes of the game change. Maybe we go ahead and win the other two games because we have won a game. Remember, we had not won 2 games in a row. We not won the Everton game. Actually, the Ipswich game just came after the Everton game.
yeah, but even in the Everton game, Pickford didn't he like wipe out Gusto and we didn't get a penalty?
So we should have got a penalty in the Everton game
Yeah.
and didn't get a penalty in the Ipswich game, because if we win 2 of those games, we still maintain the momentum. Probably we would still be in the top 2 positions.
I agree. I saw there was like this slideshow whereby like it was like 5 games actually where decisions didn't go in our way, and these are like significant decisions. There were like penalties that impacted the game.
So there's a stat that has actually been thrown here, that Chelsea have dropped 10 points 10 points in their last 5 games. So if we actually do, because we were in winning positions and we've dropped 10, and in those 10 games we dropped them in the second half. So if we probably see out those 5 games, we will actually be probably just 3 points behind Liverpool.
Oh wow. I think that's where the inexperience comes to play, and well, Sanchez as well, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
yes, I.
damn, you know, today weirdly when we started losing 1-0, I was like, at least we're not winning 1-0, which is worrying.
At least you expect that you're going to play better because we are
Yeah,
going down. So you expect the players are going to rush the game.
exactly. Because whenever we win, bro, I don't know, someone's gonna make a dumb mistake. We look like we get complacent, but you know, I think that's where we need to work on it. Because now that the fans are saying, "Oh, we'd rather go 1-0 down than 1-0 up," it's a bit concerning.
Yeah. So why was Colwill actually trying to look at the linesman when he gave out the goal? I don't know what was wrong with him.
Yeah,
Instead of claim a foul, you already made a mistake.
yeah. Even I was like, bro, that's not a foul, like completely at all. And you know, fair play to Bowen. He had a good finish because I think Tosin did all he could, but he just got there in the bottom left. Cole, I feel like I don't know. Some games I feel like he needs to be benched, man, or at least like eased into the 11 because I do think Chalobah and Tosin make the 11 more complacent. They make us more competent, and this is just poor from Cole. Like it's not the first time we've seen him make a mistake. He did one last game. He did one this game. That's back to back now. You know, like I don't think we should just let him be there. Like just because he's our star-studded young center back.
Yeah. He has some. He's error prone, and then he's very weak. He even failed to win duels against Kudus. I was shocked. How can you fail to win aerial duels against a player who you are taller than and you look physically bigger than? But we can also we shouldn't also forget that this guy is probably, I think he's 22 or 21. He's a very young center back.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what I'm saying. Don't give him every game. Like the odd game here and there is fine. But genuinely, you want him to learn from Chalba, especially Chalba, because Chalba has a Champions League, right, under his belt.
He wasn't
No,
there.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
He has Super
Yeah,
Cup and a Club World Cup.
yeah, but he's played for Tuco. He's been here for some time, you know.
Yeah,
So, and whenever we've seen him play, like he doesn't look like a young player. He looks like a player that's experienced. So I think he can learn from him to know how
yeah,
to deal with these type of pressures.
yeah. But I've actually remembered that Chaloba played in the Super Cup final. So he is more experienced than Colwill.
Yeah,
Way
definitely.
experienced than Colwill.
I think it's also because of maybe Maresca thinking Cole is left-footed, so the angle for passing would be different. But I don't think that should really affect. Like at this point, you're a professional footballer. Like if you can't pass with your weak foot, it's a bit worrying.
And I saw Chaloba played in that position when Colwill was injured, and he kept it quite well. He played well. He's actually better playing in that position.
Yeah, and his defensive ability is also excellent as well. We saw in the game before, in the Wolves game, he got man of the match. Even against City, like I said, for the Haaland goal, he forced him wide. It's just Sanchez came out, and it just became a disaster class from there.
Yeah, but there is one story that has really broken news in this game is the dropping of Sanchez. Do you think the dropping of Sanchez overall lifted the confidence in the team? Because I saw players playing with a lot of confidence today. They were trying to score because they knew that they were better defensively. You know, the goal that we conceded is not that West Ham tore us apart. It is us who gave out the goal. It's not that they did anything to get the goal. So I realized that the players were playing with a lot of confidence. Even after they scored the first goal, they were like, we can actually win it. But when you have Sanchez in goal, you know you can actually score even 3 goals, and you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, I do think the team did have more confidence. At times, even they look like they have some case of PTSD because every time they look at the goalkeeper, they're still like, "Oh no." But I think they saw that Jurgensen was more competent. What I like about Jurgensen is he doesn't do stupid stuff. Like I remember there was one time he hit a long ball to Mark
Yeah,
when there
yeah,
was no.
yeah.
That was great. Like Sanchez there, but you can't trust him.
he will probably try to play it towards Caicedo, and Caicedo is being pressed, and we lose the ball. So I, I think the goals that he has cost us actually played a huge role, because in my opinion, I've always said that third place is there for the taking, but I really don't know. I think Nottingham Forest have 47 points.
Yeah.
Do you
How
think
many,
not? Yeah,
how many do we have?
43.
Oh, man, we can catch up. We can catch up.
But we probably, if we win our next 5 games, I think Forest will probably drop some points. And realistically, I really want Chelsea to get the third place position. I don't even want Chelsea to get the fourth place, because the fourth place is really dangerous, factoring in Manchester City, because I just think Manchester City might sneak into that top four position.
They might. To be honest, it would be funny if they didn't make it. It would be funny if we didn't make it. But to be honest, I think we can because, like you said, our next games are favorable. And top four, we've seen for like a lot of years now. It's always teams jumping in and out. Like I don't know if you remember that year when Leicester were the team that spent the most days in the top four, and they didn't finish at the end of the
Yeah,
season with the
yeah,
Champions
I
League.
remember that game. We actually took their position.
Yeah, so I do think it's definitely possible, but I think we have to start being consistent now if we want to be like secure with it, which is hard with young players, but today was a good example of how to do it.
Yeah, and how to control games. And then there's also something to do with raising the age profile of the team, because I realized that Tosin's age, Nkunku, Kukurea, you could see some experienced players on the pitch. And I think those are the only players who started. But you could even see there is some level of, and Rhys James, the captain. So are we seeing that increasing the level of experience in this team is actually contributing positively? Because remember when we had Chaloba and Colwill as centre backs? Because I think that if we had Tosin in the Manchester City game, we wouldn't lose a lot of duels from Haaland, because I think he would have won those duels against Haaland.
I agree because Tosin is experienced, right? So he knows how to deal with these situations. And the age profile, yeah, we saw it in the Wolves game when Chalba came in. We saw it affect the City game when Tosin was taken out. And we saw it today when Kunku came on. And, when who else came on? Yeah, and Kunku basically, the main one. I do think it really helps, to be honest. Otherwise, you're just going to have players who are going to panic quite easily without any leaders to guide them.
Yeah, and also Palmer got his goal denied. Okay, the goal was taken away and given to Wan Bissaka as an own goal. I think that was quite unfair, because you can probably shoot and have the goal deflected. We have seen that a lot of times. That's not a clear own goal, or do you think it's just an own goal?
No, from what I know, the rule is if the ball is going towards the goal, like it's going on targets, they'll count it as a goal. But if it's not going on target, they'll count it as an own goal. And from Palmer's angle, it looked like he was trying to cross, actually, not even shoot. So yeah, it should be an own goal from those rules.
Wow. Wow.
But he
Okay.
should get an assist, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that is okay. So, probably see how the team is going to progress. And we are very lucky. We are very lucky on the run that we went through, because that is what is actually maintaining us in the top four. If we didn't win the number of games we won in the first leg, we probably wouldn't be in the top four. So it's really good to see the team back into the top four. So do you think, as we conclude, do you think that Chelsea will be able to retain that position towards the end of the season and probably move somewhere higher than that?
To be honest, I said before that I do think we'll probably still end up in the top four. And yeah, I think it's possible. Forest could drop anytime because Forest are seen as this team that are on fire, right? But then
Yeah.
on paper, we're just 4 points behind them. So that's really not a lot. So yeah, I definitely think it's possible. I do think we'll end up in the top four. And I don't think we should be that surprised come the end of the season if the top four is like Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, something like that. Because that's what tends to happen.
And that will be really good, because I have always emphasized that even if we want to do something in the summer, As much as Maresca keeps on saying that the top four is not important, it's very important, especially if we want to bring in a striker, because it is very clear that a lot of points we've dropped is because we've not had that clinical forward. So even if we want to bring a striker, we need to have that Champions League charm, because we are seeing now in situations where players are declining to play for Chelsea or join Chelsea. We used to have that pull even when we got Nkunku, despite finishing 12th. But you see now, if we lack that Champions League, you'll realize that even our pool as a club is going to dwindle.
And also because of the way we're handling the situation with the players, I think is also pushing them away. Like we just bought Felix and now he's out on loan. I think players will also start thinking like, what's gonna happen with my career at the end of the day, you know? And I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think we have as much money as we think we do, because there's a lot of players it looks like that we pulled out of deals because we couldn't outprice other teams, in my opinion. Even Ferguson, we couldn't secure a loan from him. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I think the transfer window is over.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, wow. Okay. I just wanted us to do this quick one. At least this is enough time. So probably we can do another one next time.
Definitely. Oh, yeah,
Hello.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, definitely for sure.
Or would you have something to close with?
I mean, yeah, just
Yeah.
saying, keep doing that, keep bringing the experienced players on, and yeah, give Cole some bench time like you did Sanchez.
Okay, okay. So we'll probably see what is going to happen. Yeah, but it's a great win, despite the low vibes. It's the Chelsea thing where we just get scared after having a very shaky game. But overall, it's a good win. Everybody can be happy, and hopefully, we can carry on that. The next game will be probably next week. I think this weekend there is an FA Cup break.
Ah, that's so boring. But yeah, hopefully we don't lose to like the championship team.
We are playing Brighton.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough.
And they actually lost 7, so it's a tough game. We need to beat Brighton, and we're actually playing Brighton. We're
Back to
playing
back.
Brighton back to back. Yeah, we are playing them in the FA Cup, then playing them in the Premier League.
That happened last year as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and we won both of them.
Yeah,
But
they're
that,
gonna be out for blood.
but we also had that scenario with Newcastle. We beat them in the Premier League, then played them in the Carabao Cup, and then we lost.
Yeah, it's crazy that the final is gonna be Tottenham versus Newcastle.
Wow, but it's not yet decided. But Liverpool have to
Uh,
play Tottenham away. But I think for Arsenal, their fate is sealed with Newcastle.
I hope Newcastle win. It'll be nice to see a different team take it home.
Yeah, and I would also like to see a final between Spurs and Newcastle. Do you think Spurs are actually able to break the curse finally?
Oh hell no! No, they're gonna get.
Okay, we'll be looking
Oh,
at to try and see what will happen.
yeah, definitely for sure.
Okay, okay. Thank you again.
Right. Take care.
Okay, you too.